magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
Yo, everybody, how we all doing this Saturday night? It's the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday Night live stream main event. I am your host, Proto Man. I am the face that runs this place. I'm the voice that you hear Monday to Friday, and it is Saturday tonight. We got 2 bottles of water because we got quite a bit to talk about. It was quite a week. I thought last week was going to be a busy week because we had the HasLab items and all the little things that trickled out, but we got a lot of exciting stuff out of nowhere through different sources, official sources too. IGN News, comicbook.com, even Hasbro put out a few press releases. We had the licensing stuff. There was so much that was revealed. I guess they were just like, we're going to put all the weight on HasLab last week, and this week's going to be that, and probably going to have something else next week. Stay tuned for that. Actually, we'll probably talk about it here tonight. But some greatness indeed is happening, Princeton. So, how we all doing? We got Princeton. We got Cringe McCringle is here. We got T-Formers 2002, Patrick Brown. Billy B, what's up, Billy B? Abraham. We got Timmy. We got JR Mina from the Philippines. We got James. Rodimus Toy Unboxing. Timmy K. Poindexter Esquire. Ashnud. Hope I'm not missing nobody. We got Fawn here, one of our new YouTube members. We got 2 patrons here too in Star Warriors and everything like that. Great stuff. Orlando Chavez too. We need a lot of water because it's going to be a busy one. Horned Owl just popped in. Jacques, one of my patrons, he's popped in. Jacques, one of my patrons too. And Ashley, good stuff. David Cabal, everyone's coming in the clutch now. Alrighty, so we're going to cover, because we got a lot of news to cover. We've got some cool stuff to talk about too that we picked up this week. Some TF stuff, some non-TF stuff. And we're just going to chill. We're just going to chill this evening, enjoy the Saturday night together, and talk about the robots in disguise once again. Super chat, questions, and or comments if you want to be a part of the craziness tonight. Will Murphy, what's up, brother? And Brainstorm 2002, also another patron member. We got a lot of people popping into. I guess it's a quiet Saturday. I don't know. Wrestling is happening soon, so it's all about the Sundays for when WrestleMania happens. But let's jump into it. First thing we're going to cover. This is on the licensing side because we got a lot of licensing stuff. We got a lot of official stuff. Let's jump into first what we talked about at the beginning of this week with Todd McFarlane and his page punchers. And I was seeing a lot of comments online. A lot of people were ragging on this, thinking it's a stupid idea. They rather have other kind of Transformer product. But look, I'm not sponsored by Todd McFarlane. I usually don't buy Todd's stuff. I'll be honest with you. A lot of his stuff doesn't speak to me. I bought the odd sports figure here and there from him, and the first run of Spawn stuff way back in the days before most of you were born, maybe. But because I'm an old man. But I got to be honest with you, this is actually quite a very good package deal because for $16.99, you get 2 3-inch figures with 6 points of articulation and 2 comic books. Let's be real. For $19.99, you end up with a reaction figure from Super 7 at Target, and you get no comic book and a 5-inch figure with sometimes 5 points of articulation, sometimes 6. So this is actually something that's not too bad. To me, again, Todd, when he invented this page punchers concept, this was supposed to be to get kids back into reading comic books, to get kids back into collecting action figures, and using that perfect marriage of they get the comic, they get to read it. Oh, here's 2 figures related to the comic so they could identify with that. It just works out well. And Todd has been a big proponent when it comes to Free Comic Book Day and getting people to read comic books again and keeping that market alive. So to me, I see the noble cause behind it. And the fact that he's able to price it at $16.99 when other companies have been pricing way higher for less, I'm down for it. Yeah, I understand it doesn't speak for everybody. I know that some people don't care for this stuff, and that's cool. That's totally cool. I get it. But I mean, I think it's cool, number one, if you're an IDW fan, You get some cool IDW related figures, especially the Megatron. Granted, it has the little Decepticon logo on there. That's nothing a sticker couldn't fix. But I mean, I'm down for it. I think it's cool. I really do. And it's something that Todd has been very notorious for doing this kind of stuff where he'll do a lot of business related stuff in the industry that sometimes has a bigger reverberation in the long run. All the action figures that we enjoy today that have tons of paint and tons of great poses on them, you got to thank Todd for that. He's the one who innovated that back in 93, 94 with his first Spawn line with Todd Toys before he called it McFarlane Toys. So there's a lot going on here, and this is just another step of Todd doing, something else like this. And keep in mind, for the hardcore collectors, the Page Punchers line, when they did the DC ones, the DC comic ones, those did so well that they ended up making collector-based Page Punchers, which are 6-inch and hyper-articulated. So in a world where we probably might be losing the Transformers RED line, maybe Todd might make some 6-inch really cool Transformer figures, with this Page Punchers thing and include different comics. It'd be really cool if he does some like Marvel colored stuff and everything. But, again, it is what it is. I dig it. Again, the Optimus and the Megatron comes with issue number 1 of Optimus Prime from the IDW run and Lost Light number 6. That's the K Zama cover and the Jack Lawrence cover on the other side. The Bumblebee Wheeljack 2-pack comes with Bumblebee number 1 from his standalone miniseries and Robots in Disguise number 7, which is actually a fantastic issue. Go read that issue. That's a really good Wheeljack-centric issue and stuff. It's again, the issues that they picked outside of the Megatron one are all really good standalone kind. You could read them on their own. You could appreciate them for what they are, and they focus on the specific characters. The Megatron cover, I think it was just for the Megatron cover, I'll be honest, but it is what it is. Spuck Convoy with the $10 super chat right out of the gate, the gold super chat. With the advent of anime and mainstream media now, we can now see English dub of the 3 JP exclusive animes for the 20th anniversary. If you're talking about Headmasters, Master Force, and Victory, and don't forget Zone. Zone's kind of like the OVA sequel series for Victory in a lot of ways. I don't know about a dub. The thing is dubbing is a lot of work. And back in the day when, and again, this shows how old I am, old man, proto man, but back in the day when they used to do the dubbing process for VHS only anime, like let's say Ranma 1/2 or Tenchi Muyo or even Akira, the dubbing process was way more expensive than the subbing process because you got to get actors, you have to hire those actors. Are these union actors? Are these not union actors? There's a whole process with that where it's so much easier just to slap some subtitles on something. So I wouldn't get my hopes up for a dub. I mean, there is that terrible Malaysian dub that's still out there. We call it the Star TV dub. That one's out there, but I do not suggest listening to that one. That one's terrible. All the names and the voice acting is off. Quite it's quite sad, but it is what it is. But so yeah, thank you for the super chat. But I mean, at the end of the day, go look for the subtitled versions. There's actually my buddy Hydra, Lonely Gamer, and yeah, I helped a little bit with the Master Force ones. Wolfpack Productions, aka TV Nihon, back in the day, did a really good stellar subtitling of Headmasters, Master Force, and Victory. And I mean, those, in my opinion, and it might sound a little biased, but I think those are the definitive translations of those 3. And then for Zone, I believe it was Victory Productions that did that one. Someone translated Zone, but it was more of a low key translating subtitling company that did that one. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But thank you again for the super chat. I hope someone could take away something from that. It's all online, and of course, if you're part of the Transformer Slag podcast Patreon, which then gives you access to the Discord, you also get direct links to all of that stuff for free. Just saying. Got to plug it. Let's go into some licenses also on top of Todd's stuff. Let's get into this one here. I covered this quite more deeply, so if you want the individual deets on everything here, um, yes, Ultra Magnus has come himself. That's definitely one of the lines from it. My favorite line, actually, from the terrible dub of Headmasters, was when Rodimus leaves the planet. He leaves the destroyed Cybertron. Spoiler on a 35-year-old anime. He leaves the destroyed planet Cybertron, and you have like Blur wants to go with him, and Cup wants to go with him to to go explore for a new planet, and then RC wants to come also. And Rodimus, I have to show, and Rodimus goes, "No, wait, Aussie." And I'm going to do the voice actor. "No, wait, Aussie. You can't come with us. You're a woman. Who would take care of Daniel and Wheelie? We'll take this trip alone." And then he like turns over to them and he kind of does like something. It almost looks like he does this, like, you know? And, but yeah, that's my favorite line from the terrible dub. That and Billy for Blaster and the Power Pack for the Matrix and oh, I know I'm forgetting something. Optimus Prime for Ginrai, and it's Nightbeat for Minerva. It's a nightmare. It's not you know what it is? Yes, it's something you watch for a laugh, but you do not watch it seriously. Your first viewing should not be that way. You're doing it wrong, which is sad because for a lot of people it was. There you go. It was thank you El Kevo. It was Kyryudo fan subs. They did also the Car Robots fan sub. They did the Beast Wars Second and Beast Wars Neo fan subs, and I wish those guys existed back then. The Beast Wars Second and Beast Wars Neo fan subs I watched back in the day on VHS were not the best in the world with those yellow subtitles you could barely see sometimes. But and they did Transformer Zone. So it's all out there. It's all great stuff. I always say if you can't find it officially, it's not your fault. It's just bad marketing because if they gave you an official opportunity to pick it up, we would pay for it. If there was like a crazy Blu-ray version of Transformer Zone that was done officially in our market, I'd buy it. But like I always say, if you don't give me the opportunity to give you money, I'm going to find a way to watch it one way or the other. So that's just how it is. But yeah, so getting back to the licensing stuff. So again, I did an individual segment. We talked about it. I even like mentioned it also on my Twitter and stuff. Like, they're going to be doing more of the record stuff, but it's kind of record stuff we've already like seen. We have the Jada stuff. That's the Ghostbuster crossover things. The trading card stuff actually heavily interests me. I'm a big trading card guy. If anyone's selling their like non-sports trading card stuff, always give me a ring ding, especially if you're selling like Marvel stuff or Magic or TCGs. I'm a big trading card nutcase. And any Transformer trading cards, I always collect them. Japanese ones, Chinese ones. They recently did some Age of Extinction ones that kind of like came out of nowhere from China, of all places. I think it was called Karyodo, did those. And now we got some more official American trading cards that don't just come with action figures like we did with Power of the Primes and Combiner Wars. Like now we got this stuff here, and it looks cool. It looks like it's going to be Marvel art with some box art stuff, and then there's going to be some foils. I kind of hope the foils are going to be original art, but I mean, at the end of the day, I just like trading cards. I love them. Transformers has a deep history with trading cards, and yeah, and Marvel with Impel and the stuff they were doing before with comic images back in the day. Love that stuff. Love it all. Very excited about it. That's being done by Dynamite Productions. They're going to be doing the trading cards. And supposedly there's continuing licenses with Super 7. There's going to be continuing stuff with Funko and everything. So stay tuned for that. We'll have all the updates here, but if you want to check it out, go check out the individual segment. We go deep into what all those individual licenses are and all the cool stuff with that. Brainstorm 2002 with the $5 super chat. Fortress Maximus cannot enlarge. He has used all of his power on Spock. I believe, what did he call? Trying to remember, there was a special name for Fortress Maximus's. Oh my God, what did they call it? Because I know it was Atenia was the planet, and the power pack was the Matrix, but I think there was something else too. There was something else too. I remember there was a funny name for something with Fort Mac. Anyways, forgetting, but madness. Sarah with the 50 Mexican pesos. Thank you, Sarah. The gates of hell have opened. I better save up for the next Optimal Optimus HasLab. Oh boy, please don't even tease. I'm gonna get into that in a moment. What's up, Larry? I'm gonna get into that in a moment. I talked about it briefly, but let's keep on moving forward. In the meantime, let me get a sip of the old water. It is going to be quite the busy night tonight with a lot of stuff to cover. So let's go to this is what I love. Let's talk about Transformers masterpiece MPG masterpiece Gatai '08 Yamabuchi. Yamabuki, excuse me. Oh god, what's wrong with me today? Yamabuki. Oh, Yamabuki. The Doctor, the Hakase. Oh my goodness. I am super stoked. You know, like in the entire history of masterpieces, we rarely get a female character unless it's like some kind of repaint. We did get RC, we did get Black Arachnia, but those are like the top tier female characters. You know, we got the odd Road Rage, but it really was just a repaint retool, you know, of tracks. You know, they did here and there with stuff like that. But I was worried that this one was not going to happen because it was just so obscure. You know, the history of this character is so minimal. It's a non-existent character through Diaclone repaints, and then a very recent Kiss player, Yuki Ashima, doing a one-shot manga story kind of thing. And she gets a toy, and I'm down for it. And the extras that she comes with makes it even better. The mountain flower of Japan, the Dr. Yellow, is here in MPG '08. Buchi. Ah, what is with me? Yamabuki. What is with me today? Uh, but yeah, I love it. Looks really cool. Um, it's 24,600 yen, which translates to about a little bit under $160, which is pretty much, you know what I mean? It's pretty much what all the other limbs have cost, more or less, except this is like a limited one that's going to come with a special head sculpt. So it's pretty cool. And again, the fact that it transforms into the most obscure of all combiners now, which finally has a name. The name of this combiner is not Raiden. This is Shiden. Shiden. And maybe She for death. I don't know where they're going with that, but it is pretty hype. I am very excited about this. If you didn't already get Jino, get him, get her. You go throw this together with the others, you're gonna get some really cool stuff. So pretty awesome. Absolutely love it. Great, great stuff. Spuck Convoy, I'm Charlie from your Patreon. Oh, I know, Spuck. I know. I put your name in the credits recently. By the way, that 5-pack comes out on my birthday. Does it now? So on the 25th, I believe. We're going to get into that one in a moment, too. Well, I guess I know what you're going to be getting then, because that's a pretty heavy 5-pack in a lot of ways. But let's talk about other repaints, though, because we also got this boy. I don't know. This week, there was just so much good stuff. So much good stuff. My one of, if not my favorite, Transformer cover of all time is issue number 5 of More to Meets the of Transformers Marvel original run. And man, oh man, like what a great cover. That's from Mark Bright. Used to go by the pen name MD back in the day. And what a great cover. I love Shockwave. I love that cover. I own like every version of this cover. And then recently I actually got that cover graded. I think it's like a 9.4 I have or something. And the fact that now I could own like a physical version of it with that like coloring and everything, and it comes with the head sculpt of Optimus, and the fact, and what I love more than anything, you know me, I love money. I love to save money. And the fact that they got rid of all those silly extra pieces that Siege leader class came with, and they didn't ask a leader class price point. They included the Optimus, and they could have like went, well, we got rid of those siege parts that make the leader class price point, but we included the Optimus, so we should still charge leader, right? No, $39.99. So that's amazing. That's amazing. So we're gonna get that extra Optimus. We get this cool color scheme, and hey, man, you flip over that Cybertronian battleship, and you know what you're gonna be handling. So Absolutely fantastic. Super hyped about this one. But as much as I'm hyped about this one, if you've been collecting the Dinobots for Studio Series, this one's for you too. Let's talk about the Grimlock here. This one is based off of the issue number 8 of the Marvel Comics, the first appearance of the Dinobots from the Savage Lands. This is again Marvel Comics continuity. And this is the King Grimlock with the Marvel Comics color. So first of all, why is this great? Because if you had a hell of a time trying to get a Grimlock for under $200 in the secondary market, here's a good chance to get it in some sexy colors. It comes with a crown. It doesn't come with just, oh, hey, do you want a wheelie figure that's permanently, stooped, like it's going to the bathroom? This one comes with his gun, comes with his sword, and it comes with 2 more swords. And again, if you watch my individual segment on it, I kind of like lay it out of all the different swords. I feel that I think we get Sludge's sword, and we get Slag's, but I mean, it doesn't really look like Slag's, but I mean, there's no others that it could really be, because Snarl and Swoop swords have very unique looks to them, and they do not really match what's going on here. But looks great, and again, the great thing about it is the fact that these exist shows that these were probably done on a separate sprue. And if they were done on a separate sprue to the point that these could be added to the Grimlock, means that these could be potentially added anywhere. If they're on a separate sprue, then that means you could have a deluxe product and include these swords. You could do anything. You could do a weapons pack and add these swords. So that means that this mold exists. And if this mold exists, these molds of these swords, there could be even other opportunities to pick them up. And that's great, because if you already have a Grimlock and, oh, I don't want to have to buy a second Grimlock to get these swords, I have a feeling in my stomach. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling. But I have a feeling in my stomach these might pop up again elsewhere. And especially considering we only get 3 swords here, that means the other 2 will probably be maybe Swoop, maybe somewhere else. But this is really cool. You get the crown too. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Even if you have the Grimlock, again, it's a little biased, but I think this is the better choice of the 2. It's really nice, but again, I really love the Marvel comic run with Bob and then later on Simon. So really good stuff. We got a super chat from VCXZ. Speaking of comic edition, how likely is it that Hasbro can collaborate Marvel and do a Death's Head toy with circuit breaker accessory? That would be good. I mean, if Marvel Legends taught us anything with Hasbro, is that they were able to do a Death's Head. We got a 3-inch Death's Head figure. When was that? Like 2014? It was the 3-inch one. So I mean, anything is possible, especially if they do it. In all honesty, maybe not under the Transformer branding, but they could totally figure out something and do that with the Marvel Legends branding, and they could just do like part of their 6-inch collection. We'll get a circuit breaker through their 6-inch, or they'll do like a circuit breaker in their more like limited 3-inch stuff, and then they'll do a 6-inch Death's Head. But no, they would want to do something that's to scale, and the Death's Head would be out of scale like that. But the point is that it could totally happen because it's already happened before. So I'm down for that. I am really down for that. Especially Circuit Breaker. Like, we got a Death's Head toy, so that's pretty cool. We even had a Death's Head 2 toy back in the day. They did a little figurine and stuff. But we never got anything of Circuit Breaker. And she's a funny one too, because she appeared in the Secret Wars 2 comic books. Like, she appeared in other media outside of Transformers afterwards, so that like Marvel could really go, yeah, we own this one. But really hype. I dig it. I like this Grimlock a lot. The 2 of these are amazing. And now it begs the question, like, maybe they could do more of these. I understand this is like a 40th anniversary thing too, but man, I would love to see more of these. I would love that. If they could do like, imagine you could take like look, you could take Blaster and give that like the comic book colors, which have like different yellows on the face and stuff that aren't like the grays, like that are more animation accurate, and then they could include it with, I don't know, a little Scrounge figure. That'd be really hype. Blaster with Scrounge. Again, I don't want to spoil too much. The melting pot, a melting pit. Like there's a lot of really cool covers and ideas that they could do. So I mean, the sky's the limit, and so I'm super stoked about it. Yeah, Death's Head 2 was a Marvel Legends. I think that was with the Toy Biz run, wasn't it, Billy? I think Toy Biz did that one. But there also was, I think, a Hero Click or something too. But Death's Head 2 doesn't have like unfortunately, a link with Transformers. That was like a later design that Simon Furman ran with in the standalone comic book of Death's Head. Dark B Andy, how you doing, Dark B Andy? Is it possible for Hasbro to do a 4-pack of Marvel design Dinobots to match the Grimlock, or would that cause problems on the pricing and paint budget? No, I don't think so at all. The thing is with the leader classes, especially the modern leader classes, is I find what they do now is they do a smaller figure than what would traditionally be a leader class, and then they build around it. Like they include an accessory to justify the leader price point, or they include a little extra figure, or they include something. So when you take something away, like again in the case of the Grimlock, you take away the wheelie, right? So the wheelie was, a figurine with, 2 points of articulation and a whole bunch of paint. You take away that wheelie, and now you have the budget to instead include 3 swords, some more paint here and there. So you look at something like even even the Snarl, or like the not Snarl, the Slag or something that came with Daniel, or Slug as they call it. Um, it's something where you take that one, you get rid of the Daniel figure. Now you have a little more budget, and now you could put that into the actual figure itself. What's up, Aaron? Popping in. Um, that's the way I could see it. That's the way I could see it. I could see them doing it. It might take a year or two. The slots might not be there. First they're testing the market here. But it will be interesting to see where they go with this. It will be. It will be very interesting to see where they go. It will be. So yeah. Anyways, the Grimlock is $59.99, which again, if you've seen, like I said, go on eBay and see what Studio Series 86 Grimlock's going for right now. You could buy 3 of these with what you have to pay for the one. So yeah, totally worth it. Definitely when the pre-orders for this go up, it'll be quite the popular item. And this will be also a mainline item, meaning it'll be available in all the different retailers. So it won't just be exclusive to Target or Walmart. So that's pretty hype too. T-Formers 2002. JT Prime confirmed. Yeah, the purple Soundwave, though, the rumor is that that's supposed to be part of Legacy United mainline. Although it could be wrong. We'll see what happens with that. So, but that was what I was under the belief when I saw the listings. They were under Legacy United. So we'll see. We will see. And speaking of our title today of the Triple Changer, bam. Let's talk about our very first leader Autobot triple changer. We've had all these leader Decepticon triple changers, and they haven't dived into the Autobots yet. And I want to just take a step back. We'll go to the Archer era since Aaron's here. And this was like the last really great triple changer Sandstorm figure. Obviously, there was other Sandstorm trademarked figures. There was a Creo. There was a few others. Some standalone, even BotCon stuff and movie toys that were not triple changers, but they just kept the Sandstorm trademark going. And this was like one of the last like really good ones from back in the day. And what's amazing is like in terms of scale, I wish I had. So here's a Voyager Soundwave, right? So this was a Voyager back in the day. How far we have gone now. Voyagers are so much time. This guy is massive. Great retooling of that Soundwave mold, and just a fantastic figure. And it's sad to say, I get a feeling when we're going to get the new one, it's probably going to be the same height as this Voyager, and that's going to be a leader class. But we got this buddy here. I do got to say, very clever use of engineering from the team to work in the roll cage for the rear engine in the dune buggy mode. That roll cage idea really was something that Fliro Deary worked into the design that wasn't on the original 86 toy. Actually, was it 86? Yeah, it was 86. So it's something that I dig it. I think it's really cool. I just, it's a weird fusion of coloring in that it's not exactly like the animation colors. It's really a mix more of the toy meets animation. It has obviously a toy inspired head. So there's a lot going on there. I think if you're someone that wants a super cartoon accurate version, that will come at some point in the future. But I've said this before, you give it the lesser paint job, people will buy that one because it's the new hotness, and then you do the better repaint later and you make a second sale. I've seen it time and time again, hundreds of times before. So it's no different. Brainstorm with the $5 super chat. I really hope after Leader 86 Springer and Legacy Sandstorm to do an Octane and a Broadside. Well, I would love to see Broadside because I to have something that's an aircraft carrier at a large price point gives me that USS Flag kind of vibes. Like I would love to see a Broadside. Like the Springer is going to be pretty cool. I mean, I just hope they really like I don't know. I really hope that they do something that is the Siege version, but better, but still keeps the scale. Because my one fear is that like Springer should not be a huge character. He's always someone that, in terms of scale, I've always associated him like, equal to that of the car kind of scaled characters, the hot rods, the cups, the blurs. He always was kind of like in line with that. And recent figures kind of have leaned him into Voyagers, and now we're going into a leader. I hope they don't make him too big. But Broadside, he's always been a character that could be associated with hugeness. Like there's a lot of season 3 episodes that use off-model Broadside, but that off-model Broadside, I believe it was Burden Hardest to Bear, if I remember correctly, the beginning of that episode. But almost Titan class in a lot of ways. And considering and granted, I honestly wouldn't want to see a Titan repaint of Tidal Wave into Broadside. I think that's silly. They're two very different kind of boats, if you will, or battleships. So I don't know. It's a tough one, but I would like to see more of a Titan Broadside and a Springer. As much as they have a leader class planned, I hope that they do something that in robot mode it works well in your display with your other characters, and he isn't just this like super tall, character compared to like let's say your Studio Series 86 Hot Rod and Cup and Blur and stuff, and just doesn't fit in. That's just my take. Anyways, it's really cool though. I dig the Sandstorm. MSRP is going to be $54.99, so it's the traditional leader class. It's going to be shipping out in summer of 2024. Uh, Probably, judging by the rumors online, um, in July-ish, because those like we have like the different listings of each of the waves of Legacy United. And April is supposed to be wave 2 and July is supposed to be wave 3. So this might be a wave 3 product, but we'll see. We will see. Sometimes these numbers change. Sometimes Hasbro ships out stuff early. It breaks street dates. We will see, but it's really cool. I dig the two guns. One of the guns is based off of the toy version. One of the guns is based off of his animation model. It's an amalgam of things. It's a little bit of left and right from both different camps of Transformers fiction, comic, and cartoon and toy. So we'll see how they go about it. But I think it's cool. I want to see more in this case because Sandstorm, in my opinion, was probably the weaker of the three for me, of the Autobot ones. Obviously, Springer, everyone loves Springer, and Broadside's just such a unique design. Where he's all, the toy was always the weakest of the three, in my opinion, even with Generation 1. Although, again, this one was absolutely fantastic. This was a very cool figure back in the day. Very, very cool. Kudos to Aaron and the crew during that thrilling 30 era of working on that one. But yeah. Next up, let's talk about that multi-pack. Kind of threw an image here together for you guys. So, what do we know? We got that new photo recently of the alt mode of Wheeljack, and we learned that all that paint went into the robot mode. But here's what we got. We got more information. Tuesday, February 27th, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Standard Time. The pre-order for a Transformers Generation Selects Autobot Multi-Pack will go live on Hasbro Pulse on Transformer Tuesday. We have the listing from many weeks ago, so we do know it's going to be a Hound, a Jazz, a Wheeljack, a Sunstreaker, and a Trailbreaker. We've seen bits and pieces, and now we're just waiting for the rest of those pieces. So we'll see what happens with that. I still think it's a great little set. I think that it gives people opportunities to get characters that might have been more difficult to get in the secondary market, specifically the Sunstreaker and the Trailbreaker. The Jazz isn't too bad. because that was a Studio Series opening line figure. But I mean, maybe some people just, they want to get a new Jazz. And the Hound we haven't gotten yet in those colors. We got the Detritus. It's amazing how Detritus came out first before Hound, but that's not the first time stuff like that has come. Once again, use the lesser color first. But yeah, pretty cool. This reminds me of when they did the 5-pack of the Autobots for the movie stuff. That sold out very quickly. And I could see this kind of working too. I could see this kind of working too, but it's going to be a Gen Selects item, so it will be on Hasbro Pulse exclusively. Maybe it'll show up in, Toys R Us Canada or GameStop, maybe. Sometimes they get excess inventory of that too. But this will be definitely a Hasbro Pulse way that you'll have to get this. Again, February 27th on Transformer Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. We don't have a price yet, but again, 4 deluxes, do the math. Definitely is going to crack over $100 for sure. We will see. We will see. We will see. And last thing we're going to cover, last one we're going to be covering here is, of course, our HasLab update. So, as of this recording, we're at 11,000 now, probably even more. Who knows? But as of this live stream and recording, we're at past 11,000. It is officially funded now. And not only is it officially funded, but like I said in my individual segment just 24 hours ago, this is the most quickest funded item that HasLab has ever had. I initially said, oh, it was the quickest funded item ever that the Transformers brand had with HasLab. But then I looked into the Hiss Tank. I looked into some of the Star Wars stuff. I even looked at some of the Ghostbuster stuff. None of them got as backed as quickly as this. And that, once again, goes back to what I was saying, is that while this is a great product, it is also even better product for retail, because everyone wants an Optimus. Everyone wants that. And that's something that could have been a retail product. It really could have been, in my opinion. It's just something that, the amount of backers that they're going to have for this, for sure, they're probably going to get 20,000 backers. The others had similar, maybe even more. Who knows? But it's something where these are people that want this character, and they've been put into a corner now where they're just kind of like, ooh, we're not going to see, let me go reach over for Brilliant Yellow here. We're not going to see the Brilliant Yellow repaint. We're not going to see the Nemesis, / Black Fire Convoy repaint. It's just going to really be this. And that's that. And I could see why Hasbro went in this direction, because Commander classes and Titans have been going on clearance recently. And when you put a big name character like this behind this wall, there's no way this goes on clearance. Whatever gets made, and they could add a little extra cream on the top to make a little extra profit. It's sold directly, so you don't have to worry about distribution, and you could claim a beautiful Q3 profit when this is all said and done for your next investor's call. I could see that. Oh, was the Hiss Tank 24 hours? Well, I'll be damned. Okay, well, there you go. Well, good for those G.I. Joe guys. That's if Aaron was willing to back it, then that says a lot about that Hiss Tank. I would want some, let's see, G.I. Joe stuff. I would have wanted like something like Dusty related. But yeah, so it is what it is. There's nothing we could do. I mean, at this point now, I'm just really hoping that there's a good tier 3. I really hope that the tier 3 item, because let's be real, the sword is cool, but it's something that also really should be included, in a lot of ways. And yeah, the road pieces are cool, I guess, but I mean, let's be real, how many of us are going to use those? So it's something, and not to mention like stands for characters that aren't really, I mean, yeah, Omega Prime does have a flight mode, but these aren't characters that are really associated with flight. So it's something that, I don't know. I don't know. To me, when you crunch the numbers on it, it's 2 commanders with a deluxe, and then you add an extra $30 for the extra stuff. And I just hope that tier 3 then makes me go, okay, I take it back. I want a tier 3 that makes me go, okay, that's $20 of product there. Give me all 6 spy changers, you know? Give me Ichon. Give me like something like that, you know? Give me something really, really cool. And I'd be down. I'd be down. I'd be totally down for it. The spy changers especially, it's like 6 micromasters. So, we'll see. We will see. We will see. It's a very bold choice. I think with Hasbro having a lot of their, you know, issues recently when it came to stuff was down in sales and everything, I think this was a calculated decision on a lot of different platforms in order to make sure that they make some money, and they will, and they will. It's an Optimus Prime character. They went for the big of the big. We went from, okay, Unicron's popular because of the movie crew. Okay, we got 2 obscure Japanese characters. If you really know your stuff, you know it. If you're a casual fan, you have no idea who Victory Saber or Deathsaurus is. They went straight for an Optimus. So it's something where the way I see it, they could totally pull this off, and this could be even make 30,000 backers. Who knows? Who knows? But this is a record for the brand for sure. And like I warned people, they're going to notice this. The suits at Hasbro, they work in very simple ways in that, oh, we give them big name character and we break records on the brand that we've never seen before. Let's do it again until it doesn't work anymore. So that's what they're going to do. So I forget who it was that joked about it. One of my, I want to give him a shout out. One of the super chats. Let me just scroll up here. I think it was, Sarah that said it. Sarah said, optimal Optimus, you know, I would hate that because then that means we can't get a Primal Prime repaint, you know, but you're not wrong, Sarah. That's something where, hey, whenever we need to do a big leader character figure, we could just easily put it in the HasLab instead and then completely target that market. And I mean, I don't want to live in that world, unfortunately. I'm lucky because at least, they send me samples of the HasLabs, but I feel for the people that have to pay for this. Because, yeah, I'm going to get one for free, but it doesn't matter because my friends won't be able to do that. And my friends, like Jaws D, who loves car robots, is looking at this and going, "Ugh," and he's going to back it because he doesn't have a choice. It's not like he can wait for a sale or it's going to be in the sad thing is when it comes to HasLab is you have one of 2 choices. You either back it and you get to pay the standard price that we have here, or you don't back it and the secondary market either holds it, meaning like they'll refuse to sell it for less than what they invested, or it triples in value or doubles in value, which we've seen historically already up to this point with the other ones. We've yet to really see anyone sell these things for less. So it's going to be a tough one. A lot of super chats coming in. I'll get to you guys right now. John Mayer with the first super chat. Let me just roll in there. Why not use HasLab for those crossover figures like G.I. Joe and Transformers? Well, I'll tell you this right now. Those G.I. Joe Transformer crossovers are used in mass retail, and they've been hitting clearance like crazy. The Megatron, the Bumblebee. I don't. You know what? It's something that I don't think you want to mix that peanut butter and chocolate because those 2 audiences, while the hardcore ones show up and pick it up, I don't think the numbers are there. The Megatron, I thought it was really cool, but clearly it went on clearance at Best Buy and a lot of other locations, Amazon too, I believe. And the Bumblebee, man, that one did not do well at all. I was seeing walls of that in a lot of different places. I don't know about the other ones yet because those ones haven't been released in any kind of mass retail situation. But I don't think G.I. Joe would be the safe bet with that. The Joe stuff does really well because it focuses on the hardcore Joe guys with their 6-inch stuff. And it's a big thing that wouldn't work for retail, especially the His Tank. So that's why that works. And Transformers, there's Transformer fans that don't like G.I. Joe. Let's be real. They hate human characters, and why would they want more of that? So it's kind of safer to keep those 2 apart. And I mean, if you told me the his tank sold out in 24 hours, I think it's working out just fine for them to keep them apart. Gojira Super with the $5 super chat. They could do an Energon Optimus with Wing Saber. That one's a little more of an like, and when I mean obscure, I mean I wonder what audience would show up for that. Because I mean, if you do a very screen accurate version, it's still a very round kind of Autobot leader. I mean, let's be real, the animation models, which I believe were done by Studio Gonzo, correct me if I'm wrong. No, maybe that might have been Galaxy Force. But whoever did the animation models for Energon, aka Superlink, they pretty much were just taking the toys and turning them into CG models. So there wasn't like really any, reinventing of the wheel in a lot of ways. Um, I mean, they'd have to pretty much take that Optimus trailer and turn it something more than just, a trailer. And Wing Saber, well, that would be welcome because Wing Saber's toy in the secondary market goes for a lot of money today. Those red package, late wave Energon stuff, man, that stuff was a lot. So, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. But it's a good idea, but I just kind of worry who would be the market for it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see. Ron Diaz with the $5 super chat. HasLab should be a play set like the inside of the Arc with the cons on board, or they can interact with Titan class Arc and the modulators. Well, I always feel that, and people might disagree with me because it would make it very expensive. But if you're going to do a HasLab item, do something big and bombastic. That's how I feel. I know some people will cringe at the idea of a $600 HasLab or a $500 HasLab, but it's just I feel if you do a HasLab, do something that's just wow. Like to me, like I have like Unicron was the wow, you know? Victory Saber, I love Star Saber. I love him to death. And the Victory Saber is a great figure. But it wasn't like the oh my god, wow. No, this is something I could see they could have pulled off in retail. Where Unicron, I mean, they would have never been able to pull this off in retail. There is no retail environment in the past 20 years that would have carried something like Unicron. There is no way. No way. Even when they were carrying, I think it was Playmates when they were doing those Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles, like those, what were they, like 3 feet, 4 feet tall, and they had like one per store of the turtles, if anyone remembers those. And I think they would have like one per store. And even those are like, you'd have to take two of those mint in box to be equal to maybe one Unicron in terms of like the space that the Unicron takes. It's a giant beach ball in an even bigger box. Anyone who has one would know. It's pretty wild. So I don't know. It's a tough one. It really is. It really, really is. But let me know what you think, guys. I mean, if you're backing it, I'm down for you guys. I mean, it's something where at the end of the day, it's going to be a great toy because it's pretty much the same toy, just bigger in a lot of ways and like slightly, different pieces and parts. Transformation's the same. Combiner mode's the same. It comes with extra stuff. The original toy was a 10 out of 10. So this toy's going to be a 10 out of 10. Don't get me wrong. It's just maybe it's a little overpriced. We'll see what that like the tier 3 is going to tell me if this is worth it at $250 or not. That's what's going to be the winner in the end. Cuz Blue Bolts being there kind of helps it along the way, but it doesn't get it all the way there yet cuz two commanders are 90 a piece. A deluxe is, $24.99. We're still accounting for like $45 here. So, yeah, okay, the sword, let's add $10. Yeah, okay, the two road pieces, let's add $10. What's that tier 3? What's going to close the gap and make it right to the penny? So we'll see. We will see. We will see. We will see. But that's it more or less for the news. We got one more super chat question from John Mayer. What about HasLab funding something like a new series and you get production material like animation cells or adding voice actors, adding voices of the backers to it. No, they would never do that. What you're doing right there is you're giving control of something that they want to control to the fans, and they would never want to do that. They would never want to do that, considering like, how long it takes to produce a series, and you're gonna like the highest paid bidder is going to be a voice actor. you're putting way too much control into a variable that they have no control over. Animation cells, they don't even do stuff on cell animation anymore. So that wouldn't even be a case. Everything's done with digital now. So that one, yeah, I don't think they would want to do that. They look, these guys, let's be real. Let's be real. They're great guys at Hasbro, but they don't want to have to do more work than they have to, you know? They want to work on toys, and that's probably the best way to go about it. Kevin PH with the $2 super chat. What combiner do you think would be next for Hasbro? I keep saying Superion seems like the next logical choice. I would prefer if it was Defensor, but I feel that Superion seems like the next logical choice. Some people are rumoring Bruticus. I could see their argument, but we'll see. But I think Superion. I think that's the one that kind of makes sense in the trademarking and the whole flow of things. Even though I would prefer Defensor. Defensor is my dude, and actually that's one of my items today that we got. Where are we at here? Well, actually, no. We'll do these sponsorships, and then we'll cover the rest of the super chats and questions and stuff, shall we? Because we're already at the 1 hour mark. Covered a lot already, so let's start with Bam wearing the sweater today, Symbiote Studios. Actually, back to there we go. Look at that. That's gonna be my San Diego Comic-Con wear on top of this one here with the Grimlock, who's rocking today. A lot of good Grimlock stuff today. But Symbiote Studios, the plush, the pins. Actually, no more pins anymore. I think they're all sold out now. I have to go check. But the pins and the t-shirts at least. Go check it out. Go pick yourself up Slag if he's not sold out yet. I'm telling you guys, when he's sold out, you guys are going to regret it. I'm telling you. Get your Transformer Slag podcast Slag. Get that one. Get all the others too. A lot of good stuff. When it sells out, it's difficult. There's more coming, like the Ultra Magnus, of course. And of course, like the Winter Wonder Festival set. Go check that out. And we got a bunch of stuff. In March, we're going to be revealing the next wave of plush. And it's hype. So check that out. Again, symbiotestudios.com. And of course, all the other ones. Again, I'm not sure about all the pins. Go check those out because all the pins recently went on clearance. A lot of them have been selling out. So go get those pins cheap while you still can because once they're gone, they're gone. And of course, Mr. Archer's here today. Go check it out, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. We have our Tidal Wave segment. That's the latest one up. Aaron did a really good live stream yesterday. Go check that one out too. Talked about a whole bunch of different stuff. I was actually watching it, Aaron. I was watching it with the wife, and she noticed that you were doing this the whole time. And she was like, "What is he doing with his hand the whole time?" And I was like, "He has a cat down there." Yeah. She's like, "Oh, he has to be careful about that." So he was petting his Siamese cat, and she was like, "What is he doing?" Because you were doing this the whole time, and no one knew why. If they came right in that moment. So, but great segment. Go check it out. He did a really good live, answered a lot of really good questions. Good Batman questions too. I like it when there's good Kenner Batman questions because we don't get enough of that love. But when you're done talking to me, go check out Aaron's live stream too. And of course, if you want to support Aaron more, go check out his stuff on archermonster.com/shop. Go check out all of Aaron's cool stuff. He has his art book, The Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 2 Color Edition. Volume 3 is going to be coming soon, but get Volume 2 before it sells out because you don't want to be buying that on the secondary market. Probably already getting marked up with Volume 1. $20 gets you the book. Extra $15 gets you a custom sketch on the inside of the cover of your choice. Pretty cool stuff. Great gift to give to people. Valentine's Day is coming up. Give it to the one you love, the robots in the skies. And of course, a whole bunch of original art, all of those Posca instructions on the original 30 to 20-year-old instructions. Aaron put up some new ones today. I saw he put a Cyclonus Generation 1, put a whole bunch of them. Go check them out. Keep scrolling because yeah, there's a lot of them that are sold out, but if you keep scrolling, you'll see some of the others too, the Lego ones and everything. A lot of really good stuff. Go check it out, archermonster.com/shop. We got more super chats. Sarah has a question here. Lucky I got my 30 red dragons. You really got 30? before Hasbro needed money and questioned how the retail level of a downscale remold something for a HasLab figure. Imagine if the Dragon Megatron was a HasLab item. Aaron would have had to probably back that one too. Yeah, it was the cat, Aaron? Thank you for the super chat. Kevin PH with the $5 super chat. Not political, but Paramount has been involved in some controversy at the moment. You know what? The suits be suitin'. You know what I mean? Like, I've always felt that a lot of times you 90% of people in these companies, I feel they don't truly believe the politics that they say that they stand for. I think it's more of a group think, and they just look, a lot of these guys, they want to keep their job and they want to feed their families, and they just worry like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm totally part of that party or that party. They just, because they look around quietly and they go, I have to fit in. And yeah, there's one or two crazies at Hasbro. I could confirm that. There's one or two absolutely bonkers crazy people in there. One of them's in the GI Joe team. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But there's some crazies there that are like they live and die by this stuff, and those people are sad. I love it. Pick your favorite. I always say like, look, I'm a sports guy, so I'm like cheering on rich dudes, right? But I think sports is a lot more fun to cheer on of rich dudes than it is political parties. Vote for your favorite millionaire who doesn't really care about you, even though you think they do. Come on, man. Drinking the Kool-Aid. The only person you should worry about is yourself and your family. And those parties and stuff, yeah, it's not going to move the needle. That's all I'm going to say. That's coming from a Canadian, okay? We've been kicking back and watching for years, and it never works out well. Um, but yeah, look, there's a lot of drama. There's always drama. There's always drama. I wouldn't worry too much about it, in all honesty. And then it moves on to the next thing in a lot of ways. Just enjoy life. Don't worry too much about it. Like I always said, friends and family, that's the most important things. Keep a roof over your head, be able to do that. Have money so you could enjoy good food, good healthy food, and be able to have a good, friends and family around you. That's all you need. That's all you need. You'd be surprised how far you can get in life if you just focus on those things and nothing else. You know? It's very rare that any of those other things actually get in the way of your everyday life unless it's in your face all the time. In that case, turn this thing off like I do. You never hear it. You'll never hear it. When I do the live streams, when I record the podcast, you will never hear it because I can't be bothered with that stuff. But yeah. So speaking of which, you had me at good food. You damn right. Good food is where it's at. So we did some toy hunting. The past Sunday after we did the live stream, I did some toy hunting and also got some cool stuff in the mail. Oh, I left the other one upstairs. Ah, damn. I'll bring it next week. But so I did some toy hunting. First we'll show the toy hunting stuff that I did find. Always, I have a buddy that I go to. He always has used Transformer products and used toys and everything. He's a picker, and then he brings it to his store. I'll give a shout out to him, John Marsh Electables, amazing store in just north of Montreal in Hudson. Absolutely amazing place. John had a whole bunch of cool stuff. He doesn't even care about prices because he gets it for nothing. So he had a spare Hot Shot Generation 1 plastic chest edition, has way better stickers. So I'm so OCD with G1, I collect even the variants. So I knew that my plastic edition one was like super yellowed, like my ladder was super yellow. Look at this one, the ladder, it actually holds the ladder because usually the ladder just slides out like this. This one is actually tight and the stickers are perfect. Look at the beautiful Generation 1 stickers still on there. And this ain't repro labels. This came obviously from like someone's collection back in the 80s. So I upgraded my plastic edition. So you're probably going to see a ratty yellowed one at a future Transformer parts party. He had this. I never had the Rescue Bots Grimlock motorcycle. Dig that. Motorcycle Dino. Pretty cool. Add that to I always find Rescue Bots. There is so much Rescue Bots stuff out there. And I'm like, slowly now I'm picking it up like so cheap. And the big find was this one saved so much money. Bowser's Castle. So this thing in Quebec, I believe I've seen it go like MSRP retail. No joke. I think this thing is like $70. I know at Costco at one point, this thing was like $70 or something during the holidays. This was $3. Thank you, John. $3. Yes, it's missing some of the stickers there. Okay, it doesn't come with the figures. I think it's missing a little cage up here, but batteries still work. I tried it. It's pretty cool. So you push this little lever here, this little POW here. You just push it again. And then that falls down into the lava. That's pretty cool. I dig it, yo. Very happy. I love my Mario merch. So, and for that cheap, sign me up. So that's pretty good. Uh so yeah, and I got some other stuff too, but you know, I'll save that for another time. Kevin PH, who's the next triple changer in Legacy? It's going to be Springer. It's going to be a Studio Series 86, but if it's Legacy, I guess it would have to be a Broadside or a Springer repaint. The last thing that I got, thank you for the super chat though, Kevin. But I think I think Springer is going to be the next Studio Series 86, and then I guess Broadside or Octane at some point. Maybe Octane because Broadside should be a Titan. Last thing that I got, and this is once again got to plug the Patreon. If you are part of the Patreon, you're part of the Discord. We post sales that we find throughout the week, and we share it amongst ourselves so we can all save money on our hobby because we got to save money on our hobby. This world where everything is so expensive, you gotta. So I found when I was out in the open, I always like to, I was looking for sports stuff and everything, and I was looking for like a bag for my basketball and stuff, and went to the toy section. And again, the sale's done now. If you were part of the Patreon last week, you would have known about it. They were liquidating all of the Earthspark stuff. Earthspark is toast, man. So all of the Earthspark stuff is now. This is, by the way, this is $9 Canadian, which is like $6.50 American. So the warrior classes are about $6.50. The one steps are $5, which is about $3.50. So the one steps are $3.50. I picked up everything I could. Everything I could within reason, because I was shocked how cheap it was. There was tons more stuff on sale that was not Transformer related, but that was the big stuff. All the Earthspark stuff is on mad clearance right now. They didn't have the deluxes or the spin changers. I would have loved to get spin changers just to get the human figures, but hey, the one steps and the warriors, that's great. So again, if you were part of the Discord last week, you would have would have been informed of that one. So another good reason to join the Discord. I got to plug it. Got to plug it. This is how we roll, people. It's how we survive in this world. Let me just take a look at some YouTube member questions. Proto, what is the toughest G1 figure for you to find in decent condition? Do we count gold plastic though? Because then I would say something like Black Zarek. In decent condition, I would have to say, like, if we don't count gold plastic, 1985 G1 Swoop, his beak that makes his chest, the two little not ring, but like mushroom connectors, they snap because it's a very brittle, clear plastic. That's definitely one of them. In good condition. Let me think. Who also suffers a lot from damage? Hmm. It's funny because once you get into like 86, 87, they're pretty resilient toys. So definitely, I'd have to say for sure, Swoop is definitely on there, and then you get into the gold plastic stuff, of course. Like again, Black Zarek, but not many people are looking at a Black Zarek in this day and age, and really, you shouldn't. I wouldn't recommend it for your wallet or otherwise. Um, but yeah, I would go with Swoop. He's probably up there. 85 Dinobot, probably the most, difficult. Finding Omega Supremes, but again, the problem is Omega Supreme's been reissued, so that's not a big issue today. but like the original Omega Supreme, like sometimes the gears would be busted on them. So like you'd have like the white plastic that made the gears, those would be broken, and then finding one complete. But now there's a reissue out there that they did for Takara back in 2013, I want to say. It was one of their encores, if I remember correctly. So, that's out there in the market, so that makes it easier to find complete ones. But Swoop never got a proper reissue. All those Dinobot molds from Generation 1 are lost. So that's always a difficult one. If you're collecting the original G1 Dinobots, you get Swoop out of the way first. There's plenty of Grimlocks. There's plenty of. I find Snarl. In all my years of buying and selling, I find Snarl is the most common one. I don't know why. People really like Stegosauruses, I guess. But probably the most common and probably the least common would have to be Swoop for a lot of different reasons. Where are we at? Proto, eat breakfast yet? Well, it's nighttime now. For breakfast, I just had berries and I had blueberries and tamari nuts with some rice. For lunch, I had what did my wife make? She made the I keep forgetting the name of the Japanese pizza there, okonomiyaki. She made okonomiyaki, and then supper we just had eggs. We had like omelets and stuff like that. Get some clean proteins in there. So Billy B, Swoop was my first ever Transformer buy, but did he survive? Billy is the question. Did he survive? Is the question that we all want to know. But yeah, again, so go check out our Patreon. Come join us on the Discord. There's going to be obviously every week we post sales and stuff. There were some really good sales from BBTS that were there, some masterpiece sales. The Trailbreaker I think was $100 and Reboost was cheap. So we always post them. You get to see them first before they sell out. So I always say save money on your hobby, man. Save money on your hobby. It's an expensive hobby. Anywhere you could, save a couple bucks, that's where you got to go. Princeton Phalanx 59 with the $10 gold super chat. How you doing, Princeton? Hasbro GI Joe team said that they could sell the HasLab His Tank in new colors without the electronics in retail. Couldn't they do that with Omega Prime? I'll be honest with you. I would like to see them try to do that. I don't think they will. I know that they're saying that, but I don't think they will. I really don't. Think about how big that HasLab tank box would have to be. Where are you putting that? They dimension, boxes based on Walmart's dimensions. Like where are they going to put that? If the United States had proper Toys R Us's, or like they still had the bin system that they would have with with KB Toys back in the day, I could see them get away with that. But they're saying that, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Yeah, okay, take out the electronics and the lights. Yeah, you save money from that, but that doesn't take away the size. What are they going to do? Crimson Guard? So let me get this straight. You're going to make a big, huge item in Crimson Guard colors that's going to take that much space, and retail is just going to accept that? Say hello to Ollie's. I don't think so. No siree. That would be a very bad business decision. And it's G.I. Joe. No offense. Love G.I. Joe. And it's G.I. Joe. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. That is not a good move. T-Formers 2002. Thank you again, though, Princeton, for the super chat. T-Formers 2002. So are the G.I. Joe TF crossovers actually supposed to be retail products, though they were only online? I've seen them at Best Buy. Best Buy had them in person, and Toys R Us. And I think, Larry, are you in the chat? Larry, did you see them at GameStop in Canada? I don't remember seeing. Did I see Bumblebee at GameStop? I have like a vague memory of Bumblebee at GameStop, but it might have been some other G.I. Joe product. I might be wrong with that. I know Jaws D isn't in the chat today. He would have been able to help because I know he got Bumblebee from retail, which he got from Best Buy. So I don't know about that one. Can't answer that one, my friend. I apologize. I bought the cheap MP Trailbreaker, hyped for mine arriving. Yeah, man. $100 Trailbreaker. That's a huge fucking saving right there. Let me tell you, I swore that, but who cares? We're late in the stream today. We're good. How about e-tailers or Gen Selects? Well, yeah, see, that's different. Like if they do an online thing, right? If they do it through Hasbro Pulse, yeah, they could do that. They do like a Gen Selects version of GI Joe, sure, but nothing for retail. No way. No way. Not in this modern retail world with the toy market. There is no way. Again, 2000 2013 in a world where Toys R Us is flourishing in the United States? Sure. I could see that. Just like how they had that giant, Force Awakens TIE fighter that Toys R Us was carrying back in the day, and that thing took a ton of space. Or the AT-AT that they had at one point, you know? Sure, not today. Different world we live in today. Too much downsizing on toy space for to put a GI Joe product that's like the size of a microwave box, or even bigger than that. Again, Walmart rather store like 20 microwaves than that. They make more money probably per unit. Mr. Bumblebot Proto, what is your opinion on Hasbro crew omitting the cannon missiles from Blue Bolt? Well, again, that could maybe be a tier 3 thing. I hate to say it. That's why I'm worried about what tier 3 might be. I really hope that tier 3 is going to be a clinching item. So it could potentially be that or not. I really hope it isn't, but we'll see. We will see. That's the whole point is you leave out stuff and then you present it as a bonus when you include it afterwards in a separate way, you know? Leave out the trailer and then include it as a bonus later on when it should have been there to begin with, you know? Just want to make sure I'm not missing any other questions. Sarah, about that, why no a downside on Optimus RID HasLab for retail? Why can't there be a leader now? It's because now leaders are Voyagers. Well, I mean, we just to answer the second part of the question, I talked about this on Twitter. I want to say like 2-3 years ago. When I started, I bought a whole bunch of Siege product on clearance, and then I started opening it, and I started realizing like, ooh, wow, like things have changed, and I like Siege really was like John, and no, not throwing shade at John Warden, but during John's era, and it's no fault of John. It's just probably what his budget was from above. Things were shrinking. There's a shrinking nature of Transformer product. Again, let's go back to our boy here we were just talking about. Like this today was back then was a Voyager class. I wish I had a leader toy near me. But it's a leader today is like this, so not looking good. Actually, here, let's get somehow totally not yellowed because of my environment, Tigertron. You know? Look at Tigertron. He's a Voyager. Here, I just want to make sure I'm not doing any optical illusions here. You know? Look how much beef is on this guy. You know? Different world. Different world. You know? This is thrilling 30. We're at fabulous 40 now. So 10 years later, different world, oil prices, profit margins are not as good, but you know how it is. It's always got to go up. It's always got to show profits. So you get into the inside baseball of all of that, and it kind of makes you depressed. But the reality of the business, unfortunately, shrinkflation. That's a good term. Shrinkflation. You know what's the best? Kevin, I'll get to your super chat in a moment. I'll just go on a quick rant. Um, I have a friend. He's a very well-known YouTuber in the video game sphere and Montreal local. And he loves Cadbury Kinder Eggs, the little cream Kinder Eggs. And he loves them so much that because they're seasonal, he would buy a bunch of them and he would freeze them so that he could have them all year and they would still be fresh. He would unfreeze them and then he would eat them. And because he would do that so often, that he would actually have reference of how the cream eggs were, let's say 2012 to 2013. And he himself saw that they were shrinking over time. They were getting smaller and smaller, but they were still charging the same price. And that's a micro example of that, in food. But for sure, it happens in toys too. And it's been happening for years because when he was doing that, geez, that was like, yeah, like 2012, 2013, 14 when he was doing that. So maybe even earlier. He's like, dude, like the cream eggs are like this, and now they're like this now. Like they've shrunk so much. They used to be actual egg sized, and now they're like these tiny eggs. But you don't notice in his case because they would come every season. So by the time you would get them the following Easter, you wouldn't have anything to reference it to because it would only come once a year. But he saved them and he would freeze them. So he was someone who actually got to see that and realize, he was like, oh man, that sucks. Let's go to your super chat, Kevin. I got a red code from Target the other day and love it. Why didn't they use that mode for? I guess you mean. I think you don't mean red code. You mean red cog. You probably meant. I don't know why they didn't use that more for War for Cybertron or Studio Series 86, Ironhide, or vice versa. Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure they got what they needed out of it. Maybe we might get one more repaint of it when they do maybe like a Brave Maximus, like Red Cog is obviously for like Brave Maximus, but it's gonna be for Grand Maximus, but maybe we'll do a Brave Maximus one day. Who knows? They'll revisit that mold. It's a good modulator mold. I like it. I like it. And and look, it got retooled into one of the Power Dashers. So it kind of got its due. It got its mileage. Like I always say, if you get 3 out of it, boom, 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 they kind of did their job. So Paul with the super chat for $5. Should Hasbro should show up front the numbers of tier levels, but hide the offerings like the Hiss tank and make the surprise announcement of the third floor? Well, that's what they've done before, with the exception of oh, battery's dying. One moment, guys. Just got a warning. Didn't charge the old streaming system. One moment. Don't want to lose you. There we go. With the exception of Unicron, who had its own had its own drama getting to the finish line, all of the others had a surprise third backer tier. Star Saber, it was like, oh, at the end they surprised us with the Micromasters, and it was the same thing with Desaurus. So for sure, there's going to be a third tier. I don't know about fourth. Fourth would be great if they actually plan something. But I've said this before. They price this like, let's just pull up the slide again. One moment. Like they price this based on everything being successful. So like they don't price this at like, oh, it's going to be 150 if it just makes it to tier 1 and it just gets the backing for the first tier. No, they price this if it gets all the way. That way they don't lose any money. Heck, if it only makes it to tier 1 and it's only 10,000, then they made profit because now they don't have to make the sword. Now they don't have to make the other thing. But you know it. They already planned it. They already planned the packaging. They already planned the dimensions, the shipping, and all of that. Let's be real. Let's be real, guys. Like there's a little bit of Fugazi kind of stuff going on here that you know it happens, but it happens magically. Let's put it that way. I don't want to go too deep into it. It's conspiracy theory stuff, but sometimes I feel like there's only so much that there is that's a variable for them. There's a lot of stuff that it's going to happen regardless of the success. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. Um, Hot Rod, Hot Rod. I hope you saw the Hot Rod art. What Hot Rod art? There was Hot Rod art. What Hot Rod art? There's some Hot Rod stuff. Probably some new stuff. Code Red from Stranger. Oh, you mean Code Red from Stranger Things? Ah, that's what you mean. Well, that one I could totally see being what's his name there? Towline from Energon. That's like the one that I go to. It's an obscure one. Let's screw up the camera for everybody. There's Towline. Oh, ignore Kid Muscle. Let's put Kid Muscle upside down. My Microman. Yeah. There you go. You got Towline over there, which would make a good mystery machine. And you got some Dragon Ball stuff there. Yeah, but um, where are we at here? Yesterday, I was cleaning my stuff, and all my Starscream First Edition is heavier than the Studio Series 8. Yeah, well, yeah, of course. No, you can't compare that stuff. You can't like it. 10 years ago, it was different. 20 years ago, it was different. You're talking different eras, like the Aaron Archer era, John Warden era, the Evan Brooks slash Mark era. I'm not saying that one era is better than the other, but they were different eras of different rules from above of what they could do. It's not like Aaron's like, I'm gonna make the best, heaviest toys ever, and that's that. It's what he had to work with, and he had way more to work with than, let's say, the guys like Mark and Evan do today, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I love you, Ninja. Um, Ashnode Yup, like I said, they offered this at retail, and retail passed. Yeah, it's something where, to me, I'm gonna put my guys back up here. I don't like them upside down. Um, to me, it's something where the toy industry right now is in such a funk, such in a weird place, and it'll always survive. It'll always survive. It's in a lot of ways. Again, because I see my father with the diecast world. It always will keep trucking along and have a market, and it'll have its fans, and it'll always keep going. But it's a shell of what it used to be, unfortunately. You know, it'll never die. It'll never go away. There'll always be product. It's just there's less to work with than before. Where I'm pretty sure, and Aaron could probably speak of this better than anybody, the big success of, like, let's say 2008, 2009, because of the Michael Bay movies and a lot of toys being sold, definitely opened the doors to being able to experiment and do other stuff afterwards in 2009, 2010, 2011. So when there's less of that, there's less of a opportunity, unfortunately. Billy B. So has there ever been a HasLab where not every tier got backed or it wasn't produced? Well, there's been HasLabs that failed, for sure. Um, that's a good question, though. That's a very good question. Does anyone know that answer? Because I didn't pay attention to it. The Sky Striker didn't hit its last tier. And what would have that last tier been, Ashnud? So explain to me, because you obviously would know. So you had the jet, and then what were the other tiers for the Sky Striker? Aaron Archer, I'm collecting Paw Patrol. Got to get that HasLab Paw Patrol base, eh? Get that going on. Get that HQ. Aaron, you probably be like, hey, where's my Siamese cat Paw Patrol villain? Make the cats the bad guys, and he's Japanese for whatever reason. It was the flight crew, missed it by a few hundred. Well, there you go. Maybe because they just didn't feel a Hero Quest. That was another one. Second head option. Giant Man didn't get every tier. Ketchup and mustard figures. I'm missing something there. We got a super chat. Kevin PH again with the super chat. Would have the Earthspark toys sell better if they put more effort and budget into the toys? Well, I would like to say that, but that didn't stop Cyberverse from doing extremely well. Cyberverse, as opposed to Earthspark, had like no good toys until the end. Like, they didn't introduce the deluxe class for Cyberverse until they were in season 3. It was crazy, or like late season 2. But Cyberverse did very well. And Cyberverse is plagued with, like, oh, you like that character? Yeah, the best toy's a one step. The best toy doesn't transform. The best toy is a Tiny Titan. Oh, you like this figure? Oh yeah, he has a terrible toy. So, like, I always feel that fiction dictates toy lines. Transformers Prime being successful led to the toy line being successful. At least here, not in Japan. Japan was a different animal. Um, Transformers Animated, the toy line, the show being successful also led to the toy line being successful. Same thing. Look at the Michael Bay movies. The movies were successful. People went and bought the toys. When you have media-based franchises like this, you have to convince people, why am I buying a stealth bomber one-step Soundwave? Like, why am I buying this? Imagine this existed independent of a cartoon existing. There's even less of a reason for people wanting to buy it. Because then it's like, oh, that's weird. Then it becomes something like Authentics, you know? Where it's like, then there's like really no connection outside of it just being a nostalgia product at best, you know? So you could only lean on so much that generations classics kind of thing where, oh, these are all products that don't have media with it, but because they're based in nostalgia, that's why we pick up Shadow Striker. That's why we pick up, Gears that's going to be coming out soon or any of those others, you know? The Cookie Monster meme. Cookie Monster definitely was the first to die. Was the first failure. The question is, would Cookie Monster do well today if he came out? If they would have ran the HasLab today, knowing what we know, probably not. He probably would have been more expensive. Had the crack open bottle number 2. Make sure. But yeah, I think Earth Sparks Failures is a uninteresting show. It's not super terrible, but it's definitely toast with no butter on it. It's definitely, there's no topping to it. It's very bland. And, hardcore fans will stick around for bland, but, other, casual fans, they're going to change the channel and watch something else. And you lose that audience. Oh, this show's boring. They're never going to watch it again. Especially kids. Kids, if they watch one episode of a cartoon and it's a bad episode that's boring, that's it. You're done. They're going to watch something else. And then you lost out on them watching the show. You lost out on them enjoying the show. You lost out on them asking their parents to want to own toys of the show. There goes birthdays. There goes Christmas. There goes them showing it to their friends. There goes them going onto social media and talking about it. It's a different animal today, and you can't mess with that animal. You can't. Mark Morales with the $5 super chat. What would it take for Transformers brand to reach the heights that it did during the late 2000s? It needs a new renaissance. Well, the perfect storm. I've said this so many times before. 2007, perfect storm. iPhone came out in 2007. Big Bang Theory, regardless if you like Big Bang Theory or not. I don't like Big Bang Theory, but I recognize what it did for geek culture, that it made it okay to engage in geek culture on a more broader horizon. Made geek more mainstream. iPhone, Big Bang Theory, and then the Transformer movie all hit at the same time, and it was that turning point. And then the following year, you had the Iron Man movie kicking off the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a lot of ways, and the snowball just kept rolling. And then before you knew it, it was like, adult collectors, geek culture. Hey, it's okay to like this stuff. Oh, Dragon Ball's coming back with the new. So then Dragon Ball, because of Dragon Ball Super being a thing, then that means now like old anime fans could come back and they could re-engage with their childhoods from the Toonami era if you were a 2000s kid. It was this perfect storm. And the reason why I bring all that up is because it was a perfect storm, you had a lot of people that were engaging with the Transformers brand that never engaged with it. People that were friends my entire life. I knew what they collected. I knew what they liked as kids. I knew what they liked as adults. Never touched Transformers. They would come over to my house. This madness, obviously when I lived with my parents, not here, and they were surrounded by it, but it wasn't their thing. They liked PlayStation, or they liked Marvel figures, or they liked He-Man, or they didn't even like collecting action figures at all. They liked sports. But when that movie came out, all of a sudden, some of my friends are like, yo, guy, like, what would be the best Bumblebee figure to buy? Oh my God, here's a guy that doesn't buy toys, and now he wants to pick up a deluxe Bumblebee figure because he saw the 2007 Bay movie. You need to have that kind of branding. But it was a different world. It was that rise of interest where now like think about it. Going to see a Marvel movie. Let's dissect that. You're going to see a movie based off of comic books, and comic books are supposed to be geeky, right? Not anymore. Now you're going to see a Marvel movie. That's what everybody does. So it's the same thing. There was this evolution that happened. Unfortunately, we're kind of in a point now where there's too much of it. And that it's everything goes in ebbs and flows, you know? Right now there's too much of it. To quote, and I've said this so many times on the live stream, to quote the great Dusty Rhodes when he refers to wrestlers and how they're popular and then their popularity wanes, and you can't miss me if I'm not gone. And that's the truth. You can't miss them if it's not gone. You have to create a distance from the fans and be gone for a bit and then come back. But when you're a company like Hasbro that wants to constantly be making money and show, hey, this is our brands, this is our IPs, hey, investors, here's our portfolios, you can't just stop. You can't just stop. We're going to stop Transformers for 2 years. No, the investors are going to be like, what are you doing? Isn't that your number one brand? What, are you making a movie? We want to hear you're making movies. We want to hear this. We want to hear that. We want to hear partnerships. We want to hear licensing. We want to hear all this stuff. And that insidious nature of corporate America, unfortunately, kind of bleeds into it and makes it difficult for that renaissance to exist again. It could happen, but it'll happen in a way that we won't expect if it does. Look, we went into a Beast movie hoping that the 90s kids would show up during their Beast Wars love, and they didn't. Because those same 90s kids who grew up with Beast Wars, they also went on and bought Pokemon trading cards. Mommy, I really want Cheetor, said 1996 Timmy. Mommy, I really want Cheetor Transmetal too, said 1997 Timmy. Or not Transmetal 1997. Mommy, I want Transmetal 2 Cheetor or that fish guy. That flying, manta ray. You mean depth charger? Said 1998 Timmy. And then Pokemon came out and took all of those kids. And that was it. That was the end of that. And we never saw Timmy ever again because now he wanted Pikachu and Charmander and Lickitung and I'm going to throw out a Muck, and Ditto and Mewtwo Strikes Back. We never got them back. They went to the Pokemon world and that was it. All that's all the same generation of those 90s kids. So they came back to buy Pokemon cards during the Big V. Pokemon cards saw a huge spike during COVID and the lockdowns and stuff. But they weren't engaging in Beast Wars, unfortunately. And that hurts me to say it because I think Beast Wars is the greatest piece of Transformer history. But I digress. Max5 Martinez with the $5 super chat. Do you think we'll ever get the Omnibots with the success of HasLab? Would it be possible for the third tier to choose color, repaint colors? I think the third tier would be too expensive to be something that's a deluxe class or larger. I would think it would be cool if that was it, but I think tier 3 is going to be something a little more safe in terms of bit of expenses. Omnibots, I could see them being done as a retail product. They could be deluxe classes. They have the trademarks for camshaft. They still have the trademark for camshaft, and they still have the trademark for downshift. They just don't have the trademark for overdrive. So that would be the smoking gun. And they just give them a new name. They'll call them like Hyperdrive. Oh no, wait, Hyperdrive was the Micromaster. They'll make up a new name for him or something. But yeah, that's the only issue is just trademarks. They'll do it. They'll do it. There's no reason for them not to do it. If we get Trigger Bots, if we get Target Masters, if we get all these, of course they'll do the Omnibots. Why not? Look, we got the Power Dashers, so it's not out of the question. Sarah in Beast Wars, Sarah with the $20 pesos super chats in Beast Wars. Hold on. Oh my god, I'm missing all the questions. There we go. So many questions. Please, guys, if I miss anything, let me know. Sarah says in Beast Wars were no humans and it was the best. Well, unless you count the proto-humans. And actually, that was probably one of the worst episodes with Una and Jack. What was that? Crossing the Rubicon. Um, Probably my least favorite episode of Beast Wars. Everyone always says Low Road. I love Low Road. I love that episode. What a great episode. T-Formers 2002 with the $5 super chat. Cookie Monster failed so bad that he's not even on Hasbro Pulse anymore with the others. Maybe also too, because that might also be because it's a brand that they don't own. You know what I mean? Maybe not, because they still show the Marvel stuff. Does Hasbro still have the trademark to do my Muppet stuff? And maybe that's why they also took it off the website. It's a possibility. I'm just spitballing here. I could be wrong. Don't forget Scott Pilgrim. Well, yes, you're talking about like stuff that became. Well, Scott Pilgrim was kind of a sleeper hit movie. It was a great movie though, but that was like a sleeper hit movie. I don't think that really moved the needle too much for mainstream, but it definitely was a great movie. Yeah, a lot of super chats, and I thank you guys for the super chats. Love the support, my friends. You know, great stuff. Great stuff. Great questions too. Fantastic questions. Fantastic questions. David Cabal. Oh boy, David, you're going with the you're asking what Jaws D was talking about with me just yesterday. David Cabal with the $2 super chat. Proto, what's your thoughts on The Rock, Roman, and Cody? We're talking a wrestling question for a moment here. Look, here's the reason why The Rock came back for wrestling. There was the writer's strike that happened. The Rock read the room and went, "Uh-oh, I'm not going to be employed probably for the next 6 to 8 months, and I'm a psychopath that likes to work all the time." Blip, blip. I just did a pulse phone because that shows how old I am. At the time, before Vince had his issues, hey Vince, put me in the next WrestleMania. That's pretty much what happened. And then Cody, in my opinion, if you're a wrestling company, always focus on the guys who are still going to be there tomorrow. But unfortunately, they want to get the mainstream audience, and mainstream audiences know Dwayne Johnson. Unfortunately, not many people know who Cody Rhodes is, and I love Cody Rhodes. I think he's awesome. I love his father. I just mentioned his father, Dusty Rhodes, just now. Um, it would be cool, but they've been doing a lot of swerving, like, oh, it's going to be The Rock and Roman. Oh, now it's Cody and Roman. We'll see what happens. If anything, we live in a world today where wrestling is trying to still swerve us. So we will see, David. We will see very soon. Let's grab some non-super chat questions. I apologize if I miss any of the non-super chats. There's just so many. Princeton Phalanx 59, Proto Man outside of Bret Hart. Who else is your favorite wrestler? My top 5 of all time. Bret Hart, number 1. There goes Super Shredder. Always will be my number 1 forever. Leave that over there. Bret Hart, number 1. Number 2, I always like to give a huge shout out to one of the greatest of all time, Macho Man Randy Savage. There was this great podcast guy that said it the best. When you're a kid, you're a Hulk Hogan guy. But when you're an adult, you're a Macho Man guy. And I think the same thing happened to me. I was a Hogan kid, but I became a Macho Man adult. So Macho Man, easily number 2. Dwayne's on there. The Rock is definitely in my top 5 just because of that Attitude Era. I wasn't a big Stone Cold guy, but I was a big Rock guy. It does high school back then. Like everyone was quoting him. It doesn't matter what your name is. Like it was just the best. Jabroni, like gosh, to be a kid in 97, 98, 99 in high school during the Attitude Era when wrestling was like influencing pop culture insanely. Um, Dusty Rhodes is on there for sure. I want to throw in a Japanese guy in there too. Let's go with the great Sasuke. Sasuke for the dirty for the dirty foreigners who don't know how to pronounce it like me. But great Sasuke, absolutely amazing dude, one of the greatest high flyers of all time outside of Rey Mysterio. Favorite female wrestlers? I really like Asuka. I loved Sherry Martel, sensational Sherry back in the day. She was amazing. She was one of the few female wrestlers of that era that didn't get trained by Fabulous Moolah, and that's a big deal because that means you were really independent of yourself. So I'll give you a few there. There's a few more. I love, like, I could go on and on. You know, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, dude's like a 10 out of 10. You know, a lot of great guys, a lot of great dudes. But definitely those are in there. You know, and I've met a lot of great wrestlers too. You know, um, I met a few wrestlers that were dicks. Like number one great wrestler in real life that I met, John Morrison or Johnny Mundo or whatever name he goes by now. But John Morrison, dude is what a cool dude. He was at a local wrestling event here. He was just hanging out with the fans, just hanging out with us. And then afterwards, he had like a whole bunch of like his glasses. He had a whole bunch of them. He gave them out to people. What a cool dude. What a nice guy. He didn't have to do that. Some wrestlers, you know, they don't want to hang out with the fans afterwards. They kind of just stay in the back with the boys. He was a really cool guy. Really respect him for that, you know, to hang out with the crowd and stuff. Just chill with us. A little small indie event. Um, David, my name is Timmy. And I haven't seen him since. Yeah, ever since Beast Wars, eh? That's been the end of that. James Hoskins, hey Proto, do you think we'll get some deluxe throttle bots? Oh, I think so. I think so. Chase is a trademark we have. Wide load is a trademark we have. Searchlight is a trademark we have. Roll bar is a trademark we have. 100%. All of those trademarks are there. 100%. Thank Rescue Bots for keeping Chase alive all these years. But yeah, for sure, 100%. That one, yeah, I could say with certain. Like they're making sure to keep those ones, you know. Sarah with the $50 50 peso, excuse me, super chat. I didn't appear because I didn't appear because there was a suicidal velociraptor or a megalomaniac T-Rex. They gave me truck, and I always hate G1. I want Beast Wars, a Beast Wars solo movie. Look, man, Beast Wars is my jam. You know, like I grew up with G1. G1 was my first taste of Transformers. I grew up with G1. I watched season 2 episodes. I watched season 3 episodes. When Generation 2 came out, it gave me my opportunity to watch season 1 stuff and get a better access to those toys. As a result, the very first time I messed with a Devastator wasn't the original. It was the G2 one. My friend in grade school had it. You know, shout out to Oliver Bornstein. You know, he had all the cool toys, you know. Um, First time I messed with an Optimus Prime was his. You know, if I don't count my beat up Optimus Prime trailer that I got from Value Village back in the day as a kid. But you know, it's something where, you know, I grew up on G1, but when Beast Wars came out, man, I was like, this is how Transformers should be written. You know, it should be written as fun sci-fi. You know, that has its own, you know, all the things that Star Trek fans loved because, you know, they had their own lore, they had their own language, they had their own, like, you know, verbiage for things. There was this world building that existed in Star Trek, especially in Next Generation. And then here's Beast Wars that it created its own language, its own swear words. Now we're using terms, and now we're using, like, oh, we're talking about megacycles, and we're talking about this and that, and the Matrix, and, you know, see you in the pit, and da da da. Like, it did everything that Transformers needed in the modern era of the 90s. Kevin PH with the $5 super chat. How call I contact the design team? I would like to share ideas. Well, you could share ideas to the design team over Instagram. I just have to warn you though, they're probably not going to reciprocate them because they don't want to get in trouble if, like, let's say you suggest an idea and it's an idea they've already been working on, but then they do it. And now there's a digital footprint of that conversation. And dare I say, you could argue that they legally stole your idea. So they'll probably talk to you. Will they answer back? You'll probably be like, that's a great idea. Or they'll be like, oh, yeah, sure. That's stellar. But you could share your ideas, but don't expect too much success with sharing those ideas. That's all I'm going to say. Don't expect that. I want to make sure I don't miss no more super chats. How much time we got left? We got 7 minutes left. Oh no, we got to get to the super chats, my friends. John Mayer, can we get Jaws D to co-host some of the podcasts? I need more jazz fans. Look, dude, I would love, like, honestly, I would love to have Jaws D on every show. I really would. I really would. Look, when people on Twitter, when I post the image of the live stream, it has Jaws D's picture in that image. You know what I mean? Like, do I have a? I don't have a picture here, but like, if I could have Jaws D on every show, I would. I would love to have someone that I could play off of every time and talk to. But, Jaws D has a busy life. I talk to him almost every day on social media. We talk all the time because we're still best buddies. But it's just like it's really tough. What do you call it? It's really tough to get him to like have a free schedule. The next time I'm going to be seeing him is actually in 2 weeks or 1 week from now. I'm running a video game convention here in Montreal, and he's going to be helping me run the show. So that's going to be the next time I'm going to see him. But it's really tough. And actually, guys, now that I think about it, hey, Aaron, if you're listening, you might have to cover me for a Saturday. You might have to do a live stream in my place. I'll let you know that one. Because Sunday on the 20, what's the, hold on a second. Sunday the 25th is High Score Con in Montreal. And I am definitely not going to be up late doing the live stream if I have a convention at 5 a.m. in the morning I got to wake up for to set up tables. So yeah, maybe that weekend we might have to move the live stream to like a Friday just for that one day, for that 1 week, excuse me. Because me and Jaws D are going to be busy. We're going to be busy. And Larry too, if he wants to come, Larry. If you want to also join us, you're welcome to. It's going to be a small one. Just going to keep it simple. Where are we at? I don't want to miss any other super chats. Ultimate Warrior. Not a big Warrior fan. My wife likes Warrior. She likes Jim Hellwig. She thinks he's crazy. She watched the Ultimate Warrior documentary that many years ago, that old one, the breaking down of the Ultimate Warrior, whatever it was called, and she thinks he's hilarious because he's out of his mind. What are you gonna do when tonight the Pharaohs come of the darkness knows, and we know then, because that is for the darkness knows what we will call, because I am the warrior. And it's like, what the hell did he just say? You nail the point of Beast Wars is what next gen did. Yeah, I always compare it like G1 is original Star Trek. It's the founding father. It's the foundation of it. It created the beginning of this world that we're building. Next Generation did for Star Trek what Beast Wars did for G1. And I'll tell you this right now, both of them saved those brands. And I'm not even a big Star Trek fan, and I could speak for that, you know? Cringe Big Kringle Proto, I'll be an intern co-host. If you have the setup for it proper, you know? That's the thing, because there's a whole system that we do for everything. VCXZ, do you think a Rodimus Prime where the car and trailer are one component and don't separate be viable for studio series? Well, I mean, the technology exists. You can barely see him, but I mean, because the microphone's in the way. There's titaniums, so it's been done, and that titanium shows that not only has it been done, but it could be done successfully. And that's a Don Figueroa design, and Don is very good at working that magic. So if Don was able to pull it off, geez, what year was that, Aaron? Was that titanium was what, 2013, 2012? No, that was earlier. 2007, 2008, 2008. I'm going to take a guess, 2008, 2009. So like if they could do it, yeah, they could do it. And it would make more sense. Look what they did with Ultra Magnus, with Studio Series Ultra Magnus. So it's an excuse to do another Rodimus outside of the the Kingdom. Yeah, I could see that totally. VC, totally. Grim Spectre 18 with the $5 super chat. Have you ever seen Diagnosis, Art Attack, Beast Wars, and Armada pins? If so, what do you think of them? Are those the pins that are kind of like SD style of the robot modes? You could reply again, Grim. You don't have to super chat it. If I ask a follow-up question, I feel you shouldn't have to pay for it. Is it the ones that are like they're like little super deformed cutesy versions of them? Because I've seen those ones. Those ones look cool. I really dig those. I would love to like there be more like Beast Wars merch. You know, I was hoping that like the success of Rise of the Beast would then lead to a renaissance of more Beast Wars merch. But look how quickly like the Beast Wars reissue line kind of got. Yeah, we're just gonna, let's just gonna, nah. Some of those really got put under very quickly. Comedy Point 9 with the $5 super chat. Do you think we will return to the Run Amok mold in Studio Series Gamer Edition for Transformers Devastation? Why not? They want to do more video game stuff. I think they're going to focus more on the Activision stuff, and then if the opportunity presents itself, they'll have fun. Hey, we need to fill a wave in. Grab the Runabuck Runabout mold, give it that cell shaded color from Platinum Games, and you're good to go. I could see them doing that. Timmy K. Poindexter, Rodimus DX9 is a nice figure. Oh, it's one of the best. That's probably one of DX9 is probably one of my favorite third-party figures, easily. Love that thing. I remember I got to handle the prototype back in the day at one of the last BotCons, and I was like, oh, this thing's so cool. So cool. It was so rad. But look, the tech is there. It's there. So they could totally do it. Did you respond, Grim? Let me make sure if you responded or not. I want to make sure. Did Grim respond? Oh, there he is. No, but those ones are cool too. The Die Attack ones are the faction logos, golden disc, and mini. I've never seen those. I've never seen those. Those are. If you have social media, send me a link. I'd like to see that. Socials are there on the side, especially the golden disc ones. Those sound cool. Anything Beast Wars. Love Beast Wars. Love Beast Wars. That's the. Oh, they're on Etsy. Oh, okay, so they're fan made then. Okay, I'll definitely check that out. I will definitely check that out. That stuff always speaks to me. Anything Beast Wars related, you always have my attention. You know, always have my attention. I have so much love for that series for how much good it did. Like the people don't realize like how much it grew the world of Transformers that just didn't exist. Like we didn't call it the Nemesis, the Decepticon ship. It never really had a name. Some people are like, oh, it's called the Star Drive. Like there was all these like fan names. It was just the Decepticon ship. Beast Wars named that. The Autobot ship was never called the Ark in the cartoon. It was only called the Ark in the comic. So like bringing that to the cartoon aspect of it. The mention of Primus was only in the comics, never in the cartoon. The mention of Sparks, that was a brand new idea. How do Transformers work? Like Beast Wars brought so much to the brand that like anyone who hates on Beast Wars, man, you got to really reevaluate why you are a Transformer fan, because you got to realize how much it brought to the game. And just from a engineering standpoint, let's not even talk about ball joints and articulation and storing weapons actually on the body of the figure instead of it being on the side. You know, G1's the best. Oh yeah, well then tell me about your G1 Starscream where everything has to be on the side when you transform it, half of the figure. You know? So no offense, but I mean let's be real. And I love G1 also. I mean, it's all there. Let's answer one more question, guys, and then we will call it quits for tonight. We topped out at like 170 or something. We did really good today. A lot of people came in. James Hopkins found a pack of Transformer backgrounds with those movable static stickers from Dollar Tree today. Oh yeah, I think I saw those. Someone showed me one of those. Yeah, they're like it's like a rect. It's almost like a envelope rectangle. Someone showed me that I think on on Instagram. I just didn't have. I was so busy today. I was out all day. I didn't get a chance to reply. And tomorrow I'm going to be busy too. Got so much stuff I got to do tomorrow. Still planning for the con. We'll answer John Mayer's question and then we'll call it quits. What's for dinner tonight? Well, I had eggs already. Um, I have bang chui, which is a Vietnamese dessert. I'm probably gonna have that. It's like a rice dessert. It's like a rice loaf with banana in it, like a banana kind of, I guess, aroma. It's probably the best wording to use. So I'm gonna have probably just munch on that a little bit. Probably some nuts and bananas. Oh yeah. for tonight. And what we're actually doing tonight is my wife is finally finishing up Attack on Titan, so I'm rewatching Attack on Titan with her. You get to vicariously get all the surprises, no spoiler, through her because I got to enjoy it all many years ago. Well, actually, it finished recently the last season, but yeah. So we're gonna be doing that tonight instead of playing video games. And that's it. More or less, people. We are done tonight. Thank you for all the love and support. A lot of great super chats today. Thank you for all the super chats, everybody. That was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Um, great stuff, great questions. Thank you for all the YouTube members. Sorry I wasn't able to get to all your questions. It was floaty today, man. There was a lot of stuff. Um, you know, Attack on Titan is great. Had a good beginning, middle, and end, which is all I could ask for. A good, solid story. Don't spoil for people. Go and watch Attack on Titan. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Great talking to y'all. It was great stuff. There's gonna be some good news this week. I feel there's gonna be some stuff that just might break and get leaked out. Let's put it that way. So stay tuned this week. Once again, if you want to support the podcast even more, as I always say, go check out the links down below. Join the Patreon, gets you access to the Discord. You can come hang out with us and save money on your hobby. Outside of that, again, if Patreon isn't your thing, if you don't want to be a part of Discord, you want to be one of those beautiful green names on the side, or you double dip. Some people, they also get the green names of the YouTube members. There's the join button that's there from YouTube. Come join the green names and come join us here too, like Billy B and T-Formers 2002 and Timmy and James and everybody and Abraham and anyone else that's going to say, yo, but otherwise, join the patrons. It's the best way to support the podcast. Outside of that, guys, thank you for everything. And we're going to just be chilling this night and relaxing. Like I always say, take care of you. Oh, there goes a Beyblade I was holding. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family and your loved ones. And enjoy life. We only have so much time on this planet. Why waste it with the negative shit? I'm out of here. I'm going to go enjoy a good evening. Take care. Love you all. And peace.